got a machete in your pocket, sir, or are you just happy to see me?
I'm just saying, why wouldn't you check the back seat?
I'm just not here for it.
I kind of enjoyed the axe to the face.
Ooh, hey there, Mr. Monster.
So, chill or kill. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time where you get that extra good from us, from this podcast.
And we deliver it to you, right into your ear holes.
To you, consensually.
Always. Hopefully. I hope it's
maybe
not non-consensual. Can you download a podcast and listen to it non-consensual?
Unless there's some crazy person that's like making someone listen to us.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I'm actually certain that that's happened. I'm certain that somebody has been like, oh my gosh, you have to check out this new podcast. I really love it. And then they put it on for their friend, and their friend is like, please let me out of this fucking car.
Let me go. Yeah, that's actually been me by you.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're doing right now, actually.
Yeah. That's how she got me into this, actually.
Yeah. For over a year now. It's going great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome back to Netflix and Kill. If it's your first time, I'm sorry. But hang around and maybe it'll get interesting.
Yeah, maybe not with this episode.
Yeah.
Maybe try another episode. You know, number one, our first one was really good. Number two. Number two was actually great.
This is the episode where we just rate all our other episodes.
Yeah.
Look here.
Listen, Katie.
Oh, you go. No, please be my guest.
No, I was just going to say, you have a proven track record.
Look.
Of selecting the top tier.
the best content, honey.
The top tier of horror.
Yeah, I fucking picked. It was my week to pick. I picked a stinker, folks. Just gonna let you know now, but we're gonna review it and we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna decide whether we're gonna chill with it or whether we're gonna kill with it. And you're here for the ride, and we're all on this journey together in this big, beautiful spinning rock. So
we're gonna use as many words as possible to make this at least.
I don't have a lot to say about this film
because there's not a lot that we can say about this film, but we're gonna try our fucking best.
Look here, it was a film and it was called Murder Party 2007.
Well, no, so I saw in the email that you sent just the email to our podcast, and it said Murder Party from Caitlin, and I'm like, okay, all right. Knowing you, I just assumed
I'm in.
That yeah,
I'm down.
Like,
Sounds good.
Sounds fun.
Time and place.
Where do I RSVP?
Where's the Evite? This is a strangely formatted Evite.
Mm-hmm. Where's the event on Facebook? I need to know so I can hit that I am interested.
And then
button.
ghost on it.
Yeah.
On the actual day.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Woo, I'm the worst for that.
I know you are. You know I see all of your shit that you
really?
do. Yes. So I see all of your shit that you do. It'll say Caitlin Murray is interested in this event near you. And
you're like, this bitch is not going to this.
I'm like, she's not going to that. But like also sometimes it's been like an event that's scheduled at a time when we're supposed to be doing something. So it's like we'll have a recording set up for like Friday night, and then it's like Caitlin Murray is interested in Vienna food truck, this and this food festival at Friday night, this and that. And I'm like,
girl,
either one of two things is going to happen. One of us is getting ghosted on, or both.
Yeah.
So just letting
it's usually the Facebook event, though. I just like to keep my options open. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do know. So we watched this movie. Oh my God. So what made you select this film? Because like I said, you sent it in the email, so obviously you saw it somewhere.
Yeah. So it was actually recommended to me from just a friend.
A listener?
No, not from a listener.
Of course not.
Oh, Oh, no.
Of course not.
Oh, hush. So I bet everybody who's listening to this episode right now, everybody who has actually sent us like good film recommendations, they're like, what the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing?
We will get to reviewing some of those. And by the way, if you do have a recommendation that you want us to watch something, the rules are it has to be on Netflix, because this is Netflix and Kill, not Amazon Prime and Crime, girl. That's our second spinoff.
That's our second spinoff. That's when we hit our third tier.
True. So it's got to be on Netflix.
Hulu, no Hulu and
no
Vudu.
Hulu, yeah, none of that. Got to be on Netflix at the time that you email us, and we will watch it and talk about it.
Well, I'm glad you put at the time that you email us, and not something that was on Netflix like 3 years ago, but isn't there anymore.
Well, I mean, true. I mean, girl, you know, people be crazy as fuck. They'd be like, well, it was on Netflix like 5 years ago, whatever. So, yeah, if you want to email us, thehauntedheartpodcast@gmail.com. But this Murder Party movie was recommended to me a while back from a friend who, interestingly... my friend recommended it and was like, oh, it's really good. Like, you should watch it and talk about it on your podcast. And I was like, okay, cool, girl. So I shot that email over to the podcast email where you saw it. And then about a quarter of the way through the movie, I texted that same friend. And I was like, girl, I just shared some of my thoughts about the film that we'll get into later.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, man, I heard it was really good. And I was like, I thought you watched it because you gave it as a recommendation. And he was like, oh, no, I just heard it was great.
What an excellent friend.
I was like, how do you give a movie recommendation when you haven't even seen the movie?
What an excellent friend.
Motherfucker. So Murder Party is a 2007 American horror comedy film that was written, directed, and shot by Jeremy Saulnier.
Okay.
At least I'm hoping that's how you pronounce his name. The whole film was shot in Brooklyn, New York. BK.
Yeah.
And I guess we should kind of get into a little bit of a plot synopsis.
Oh.
At this point.
Okay. Let's
Do you want to give it a shot?
Sure. So this guy who is kind of he's really creepy looking, kind of like a serial killer.
Very Dennis Rader when he was going into like homes with the security systems.
Don't know her. So, yeah, he's very serial killer, very glasses, bomber jacket. Yeah. Very, very suspect. I will say this. The scene does open on some very nice Halloween footage. It is set on Halloween, so you get some nice shots of some excellent iMovie shots of the Halloween decor.
It did do a good job. Like those early opening shots did a great job, I felt, of kind of establishing the Halloween atmosphere. Yeah. Like it was I was vibing with it. We had some jack-o'-lanterns, we had some kids running around in costumes, and we had some electro synth going on.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. We were excited. We were. So continue.
Yeah. So anyway, and he gets somehow an invitation blows his way in the wind.
On the breeze. Magical.
Yeah.
To be.
And lands at his feet. And he picks it up, and it's his invite, and it says, come to this murder party. So he picks up this invite, and it's got murder party written on it, time, place. And he just goes to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you just don't pick up an invite that says murder party off the side of the street, boo, and think that everything's going to be okay.
I mean, honestly, my curiosity would be piqued. I would mark myself as interested.
Yes. So he goes home to his cat, who's kind of an asshole, apparently.
His cat's name was Sir Lancelot.
Yeah.
Which will be important later in the game.
Really? Because I really think that he just makes a cardboard costume.
Well, he made a cardboard knight, right? Yeah. So he's a knight. The cat is Sir Lancelot. He's got a thing with knights. Like it's a theme. Yeah. It's a motif.
Sure.
If you will.
Sure. So he goes dressed out as a cardboard knight, and he goes to this very seedy, suspicious building, and meets this group of people who's just hanging out in this warehouse.
By the way, you can tell that the movie was 2007 because Brooklyn don't look like that no more, girl. Brooklyn now is like all like fucking like department stores where there's like 3 items and then a bunch of empty space. I didn't mean to say department stores. I mean like big like factory buildings. Yeah. And there's like fucking 5 shoes in the whole fucking, and I don't mean 5 pairs. I mean 5 fucking shoes.
Yeah, 5
in the whole store.
5 right shoes. They're sitting on a white pillar.
Right.
There's a single light on each and every one of them. And they only carry size 5.
100%. There's a girl chewing gum in the back.
That's what, yeah.
That's what Brooklyn is now. But in this movie, he went to some kind of sketch-ass looking part of Brooklyn where it was like all run down and I don't know. Brooklyn don't look, there ain't no fucking space in Brooklyn no more.
So he gets there and everybody's acting weird. And then they kidnap him or tie him up.
I mean, I don't really think we can call it kidnapping because he fucking walked his stupid ass over there.
Yeah, but the moment that you tie somebody,
him.
Okay, but the moment that you tie somebody to a chair and tell them that they can't go somewhere,
yes.
That's kidnapping.
No, they detained him.
That's kidnapping.
I don't know. I think legally it's something else. Because kidnapping, you have to like take somebody. False imprisonment, maybe.
Do I look like the type of person that gives a shit about what legally means?
That's my job here. I'm the crime person.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not. So, he was kidnapped.
They chained him up to a chair, y'all.
They did.
Rolling chair.
Mm-hmm. And then we proceeded to sit in a circle for an hour and a half, folks. And that's that.
Well, their whole thing is that they wanted to, like, lure somebody to the murder party so that they can murder them for art. So each one of them is, like, a different kind of artist, but they're all heavily, heavily pretentious, and they're all very, they're supposed to be caricatures.
Yeah, very into themselves. Sounds like another choice you made here recently. What was that one that also was a flop? That was yours, right?
No, bitch. Velvet Buzzsaw was you, girl.
No, that was you.
No. Velvet Buzzsaw was you, sweetie. It was. It totally was. Okay. But I was going to pick it too, so it's fine. I will say that Velvet Buzzsaw did the pretentious artist thing, I think, somewhat better than this film. Maybe it's just because Jake Gyllenhaal was there, but never fear, Haunted Heart listeners, because we found us a hottie in this film. And his name is Paul. Paul is like the bright light of this film. We have all of these like artist types who are really struggling, pretentious artist types who are really struggling with actually like fucking murdering someone because they just sit around in a circle and take drugs and talk about shit instead and get sidetracked. They're like the worst murderers ever. That's kind of the whole point of the film. And then you have Paul, who is doing the most.
Yeah, he really is.
And serving it up.
Yeah.
Paul is the slightly overweight, little pudgy. We'll say pudgy. God bless him. Kind of nerdy, like band t-shirt type, slight goth, but mostly nerd type dude. Like black band t-shirts with skulls on them and like khakis. You know? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And I love it.
And major chops on the side of his face.
Major mutton chop. And you know, I respect a beard. I respect that beard.
All right, cool.
But no, Paul is the best part of the film. He's fabulous. We're LinkedIn friends now.
She's not even kidding, folks. She literally, during the middle of this film, she went, searched the actor, found him, found his LinkedIn, and connected with him on LinkedIn.
100%. And actually, what's interesting is that he is actually an art teacher here in DC. Who would have thunk?
In DC.
I don't know if he would care that we're talking about that. You know, we just kind of started being friends on LinkedIn. We're just testing the water.
If you ever wondered exactly how crazy Katie is, here is your example.
No, you know what? I'm just an edgelord. It's fine. It's just how it is. It's fine, Paul. It's good. You looked good in that movie from like 12 years ago. Also, here's the thing. Here's the scariest part about this movie is that we realized that 2007 is 12 fucking years ago.
That is true.
Because we looked it up and we were like, oh, no, like that wasn't that long ago. It was.
It was.
Y'all.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Yep.
I felt like it was like 3 years ago.
That was the year I graduated. I graduated high school that year. The year that was made.
Did you really?
Yeah, 2007. Damn. Shit.
Damn.
Anyway, so they essentially sit around. They talk for
the whole movie.
Fucking ever. Mm-hmm. Couple people get fucked in the back of some room. So that's cool. And then it finally comes to a climax to where they finally start to kill each other. And there's one really creepy guy who's wearing a baseball uniform, and he's playing a game the whole time. And then I told Katie, I was like, he's the one you need to watch out for. Mm-hmm. And then he was the one you needed to watch out for. He was the actual fucking crazy one who could actually fucking kill people. Mm-hmm. And then so everybody eventually ends up dying. And with the exception of the
hero of our story.
The
cardboard knight.
One of the guys had a chainsaw that he was carrying. This guy, one of the artists who was trying to kill the man, had a chainsaw with an extension cord that he carried with him.
Wasn't plugged in.
No.
It was great. So here's the thing in critiquing this movie. It was horror comedy. So like there are moments where definitely it's supposed to be funny. And it succeeded in some of those moments. But then other times it was like so... I don't know if subtle is the word that I want to use, but it I don't know. There were times where it did not read as horror comedy, but it read as like horror. And I've read reviews online. This movie has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't understand.
But only 5 people have reviewed it on Rotten Tomatoes.
I still don't understand.
Yeah. You talk to people who've seen this movie, and that's why I would actually encourage you guys to watch it, because you talk to people who have seen it, and some people are like, that's the genius of it. Like, it's so, like, the artists are so incredibly pretentious, and the comedy is so, in some cases, subtle, that's what makes it great, and that's what they really like about it. Mm-hmm. For me, maybe I'm just not, like, highbrow enough, but it didn't hit it for me.
Yeah.
I like my horror comedy to be, like, funny.
Because it's comedy. No, so here's the thing. I just feel like we just didn't, like, we had an idea, and then we just didn't go anywhere with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we like the idea. It's set on Halloween. That's all you got to tell me.
Right.
And I'm into it. I'm into it. Set on Halloween. Kenny is watching. Kenny is there. And there are very few films that are themed around Halloween that I dislike. Very few. But here's the thing. You actually, if we're making a film, you know, there are certain things that you need, especially if you're making a horror film and a horror comedy film. 1, an idea. 2, a story. 3, literally anything. Literally
like plot
anything.
Points, right?
Plot points, character development.
Yeah.
Something. There was literally nothing. And you could tell, because apparently the group that made this, from what I'm reading, this group called Lab of Madness, which I think was like a bunch of people that were sort of friends, grew up together, making like films.
I think they went to NYU.
Yeah,
too.
And they tried to get some investors for some other projects they were working on. Couldn't find any. And apparently the group decided to go ahead with Murder Party with absolutely no money. None at all.
Which, here's the thing, like,
you don't need that much money.
Yeah, you don't need that much money. I'm kind of into it that you don't have money, but what you do need is like a script.
But listen, you can't struggle with everything. Listen, I'm fine. You can't have a struggle with everything. So here's the thing. You can't not have a budget and also not have a story. Not have a plot, not have character development. Like, I need check one box, please.
Right.
A box, please.
Yeah.
Which one are we checking? Because nothing was checked for me, and I am so sorry. Because
can we make Paul his own box and he can check it?
He can check our box.
You loved Paul. We loved Paul.
He can check our box anytime he wants. Apparently, they had the production was a little rough in making this.
Because they didn't have any money.
They didn't have any money.
Or story.
That's what I'm saying. It was rough. It was a struggle bus, apparently. From what I'm reading, the shoot was rough. They had many people took on multiple roles on the production. The set was freezing. Had a very tight-knit crew. And also much of the planned special effects had to be compromised due to budget constraints. But because of this, a lot more focus was put on a few individual effects. Like the one scene where the man burned his face in the latex mask.
Yeah, that was actually cool. That was a cool minute because there was a guy who had a wolf mask on and he gets caught on fire. And the mask...
By himself, by the way. He set himself on fire.
Yeah, he accidentally
lit a cigarette and lit himself on fire.
Right. Off screen. But when he comes back, we can see that like the mask has kind of burned through and like his face is melted like to the mask and his like you can see his face breaking through the mask, but it's like all melty and gross and he's like up and chasing people around with a chainsaw. That was fucking cool.
Yeah.
That was good. So if we had to choose to keep one special effect, that one was a pretty good one.
And that's what they did.
Yeah.
Which is what we guessed when we watched it. We were like, they had no budget. They had like $50 to their name. And they put it all in that one mask.
But you know what? I respect that. I respect the struggle. And there are a lot of films with low budgets that I really appreciate. But like you said, if your budget is limited, then you have to really focus on... Okay, what's your story? What are your plot points? What's the theme that you're trying to get across?
Focus. You shift your focus. So if you don't have the budget, then you need to shift your focus onto what is free. That's your characters. That's your acting. That's, how they interact with each other. That's your story. I mean, like, yes, budget is one thing, but like... And it's not like that. I mean, they had a cool setting. Like, they had a cool place to shoot. It wasn't a bad setting. Like, it was kind of weird.
Factory. There's
abandoned
tons
factory. Like,
or warehouse. It was more a warehouse.
A warehouse. Like,
but there's tons of space.
Setting. The overall idea was like, okay, let's get invited to this murder party. Like, sounds cool. That's what brought us in. It's on Halloween. But then we literally just sat around in a circle. Both as the viewer and... the characters just sat and did nothing for an hour and a half until someone finally decided to pick up the fucking knife. I believe at one point in the film I said, if I was that man and I had to listen to them fucking talk their shit one more time, please just go ahead and fucking kill me now. Just kill me now. Because you had like I think at one point one of the main bad guys, I guess if you could call them that, started trying to quote the Raven. Yeah. And I'm like, are we really doing this? Yeah. Is this a thing?
Yeah. But that was actually, again, I think that was one of those moments that was supposed to be comedic, but it just didn't read for me. And it may be because I have personal experience dating artists who were pretentious and horrible, and it just takes me back to that. Woo! I have such a low bar. For that.
Yeah.
So at one point I looked at Kenny and I was like, this is like dating my ex. I feel like I'm dating my ex again.
Totally.
So it could I fully recognize that I could be biased, but it just didn't hit for me.
Here's a question I'm going to pose to you. What would you have done to change it?
I would probably have...
If you were a director sitting at the helm...
Because I've been in that situation before. I have been a director with no money trying to figure out how to do a stage show.
She has been a podcaster with no money.
No money. I think I would have reworked the script. I think we would have tossed a lot of what was there, and I would have workshopped the group because, and this is just part of how I work in that world. But I believe in workshopping with actors a lot. And I think I would have taken that ensemble and we would have workshopped for a couple weeks, completely off script, just learning each other, learning each other's reactions, like learning how to work off of each other, right? Because if you have a film where it's a lot of talking, you have to be able to banter back and forth. You have to be able to have a rapport. You have to have that type of connectivity as an ensemble. And you get that through workshopping.
Yeah.
So I would do that. We'd scrap a lot of the script. We'd keep some basic plot points, and then we'd improv there. And we'd just shoot a lot of improv, right?
Yeah.
From plot point to plot point, and we keep what we like. So it would be the film itself would be like a working workshop as we go along. And we would kind of create the story ourselves. But we'd have like a framework. Keeping the focus on keeping things moving, getting to the next plot point, like getting there, right? So that everybody feels like they have ownership of it and whatever.
Yeah.
I think what happened is we had some lines written down and everybody just said their lines at each other and we lost a lot of that ensemble sort of feeling. That was missing for me. That was what was crucial that I just didn't get.
Yeah.
And there were moments where, you know, you could kind of see what they were trying to do, but it just didn't quite get there.
Yeah. For me, I would have scrapped it. No. No. I'm kidding. I think this is probably a format that I feel like would have worked better as like a short film.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it was, we
could have cut a lot of shit out.
And it was only like an hour and 20 minutes.
Right.
Like and it was too long.
We could have cut a lot of shit out and not have needed any sort of budget and made like a phenomenal, just like really scary short film. A really good short that, you know, maybe in the future could be picked up for a higher budget and worked. But I just think we were a little too overambitious with what we had.
Yeah.
And we stretched it very thin.
Yeah.
Very thin. Like a wafer. Like the wafer after you peel it apart. And like eat the delicious strawberry icing on the inside. That. So.
Yeah. I respect the idea. I respect the hustle. Like I said, I know what it's like to work with zero budget. But I think it just wasn't there for me. So I guess we should bring it on home, as they say.
Oh yeah. We should bring it on home.
I know it's a big mystery to everyone who's listening, but,
I guess should we do it on the count of 3? On what we say? Let's do it together.
Yeah. Is it going to be chill or kill?
1, 2, 3.
Kill. What would you do if I just straight up looked at you and went chill?
I thought about that actually. I thought about doing that to you, but I didn't.
No, I have to kill it. Like I said, I respect it. I respect the working conditions. I get it. But it just wasn't there for me. It might be there for other people because, like I said, again, I think maybe you could try it because there are people on the internet who are praising this movie like it's really great.
All 4
and they
people
really enjoyed it. No, I mean, there's 5 people on Rotten Tomatoes where it has 100%, but there's also like discussion forums and things like that. Like I've seen people saying good things about this movie, and clearly it was recommended to me by a friend who heard good things.
Okay,
so
that's
there
fair.
is some buzz, and I think there is some allure. I think a lot of people don't see low budget horror like this a lot, and so it's a standout because it's not the typical horror film, I guess. Yeah. It is different. Unfortunately for me, that means it was not what I wanted. But you could try it. You could try it out. You'll know probably within the first 10 minutes if it's for you or if it's not.
Yeah.
You know?
And again, like just to reiterate, like I don't want any, like any of the directors or actors of anybody that of any of these films that we review to come at us angrily if we dislike their films, because here's the thing. Like Katie said, I really appreciate the art. I love horror, so I am down to watch literally anything.
Right.
And I appreciate it. And I understand that, even though, like, we may have had certain opinions of this film, like, they have still done shit that we haven't done here.
100%. Like, I mean, we haven't produced a horror film.
Produced a fucking horror film.
We have 0 horror films,
So, yeah, like, kudos to you. You've produced a horror film. I have not. So, fuck what I have to say, honestly.
Honestly, and we're also just talking our opinions. So,
Try again.
I would be very surprised if we ever told you guys 100% do not see it no matter what you do.
Oh yeah, no.
Because always, what works for us might not be what works for you guys. What we really enjoy, you guys might not. And sometimes it's fun to watch bad horror. I didn't have that experience this time, but
maybe
stay
someone else
open-minded.
will. Maybe someone else will.
Yeah, stay open-minded. There are people who liked this movie. It just, for me, it was a kill for me.
Yeah, it's a kill for us too. Check it out if you want to.
For us. Who you with, girl?
Huh?
I said it was a kill for me. You said, yeah, it's a kill for us too. Girl? Did you grow another head over there?
Anyway, so yes, that is our episode. I cannot fucking believe we made it past 30 minutes, y'all.
Did we really?
With 3109, bitch.
Must have been all those
All of that room noise.
Yes. So join us. I guess it's time for me to do the spiel now.
Oh, yeah.
Join us on Wednesdays for our regular show, the Haunted Heart Podcast. New episodes every Wednesday. New episodes of Netflix and Kill, which is the lovely mess that you just listened to every Friday night. No, Saturday morning.
You're talking about the gospel.
Yeah, this gospel.
Yes, the message, the gospel.
Yes, the message. If you want to connect with us on social media, we are on Instagram at The Haunted Heart Podcast. We're on Twitter at The Haunted Heart, and you can search Facebook, The Haunted Heart for our Facebook page, The Haunted Heart Podcast for our Facebook group. It's a closed Facebook group. We talk about movies and shit like this all the time. So if you liked this, if you like what we do, you like the Facebook group, definitely join. It's a really cool place to have discussions. If you appreciate what we do, if you appreciate us being all up in your feed every week, and you want to leave a little coin on the dresser, you can visit patreon.com/thehauntedheart. We share all kinds of bonus content there, anything from bloopers to like scary short stories that we read for you to Patreon exclusive giveaways to early access to all episodes as well through the Patreon. And I think that's pretty much it.
So you know what to do. It's that time. You've got to
stay spooky.